A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. A good traveller has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A wise man adapts himself to circumstances as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it. A wise man makes his own decisions, an ignorant man follows public opinion. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. Be content with what you have, rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Act without expectation. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Do not be desirous of having things done quickly. Do not look at small advantages. Desire to have things done quickly prevents their being done thoroughly. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Great wisdom is generous. Petty wisdom is contentious. Great speech is impassioned. Small speech cantankerous. Happiness is the absence of the striving for happiness. He who asks a question is a fool for 5 minutes. He who does not ask a question remains a fool forever. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still. He who does not trust enough will not be trusted. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. If you do not change direction, you may end up where you're heading. If you don't want anyone to know, don't do it. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. If you plan for 1 year, plant rice. If you plan for 10 years, plant trees. If you plan for 100 years, educate mankind. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon and star. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. In the world, there is nothing more submissive and weak than water. Yet for attacking that which is hard and strong, nothing can surpass it. In war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. It is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Recompense injury with justice and recompense kindness with kindness. Respond intelligently even to unintelligent treatment. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Stop thinking and end your problems. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. The beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper name. The best fighter is never angry. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The best way to predict your future is to create it. The biggest problem in the world could have been solved when it was small. The cautious seldom err. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The harder you fall, the higher you bounce. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. The more that laws and regulations are given prominence, the more thieves and robbers there will be. The more you know, the less you understand. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. The perfect man uses his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing. It regrets nothing. It receives, but does not keep. The power of intuitive understanding will protect you from harm until the end of your days. The sage does not hoard. The more he helps others, the more he benefits himself. The sea is the same for all, but some people get pearls and others get fish. The softest things in the world overcome the hardest things in the world. The sound of water says what I think. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his actions. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The truth is not always beautiful, nor beautiful words the truth. The way out is through the door. Why is it that no one will use this method? The wise adapt themselves to circumstances as water molds itself to the pitcher. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. The wise man is not subjected to stellar influences. The wise man is one who knows what he does not know. The wise man learns from the experience of others. The fool has to learn by his own experience. Those who are free of resentful thoughts surely find peace. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. Those who realize their folly are not true fools. Time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time is like saying, I don't want to. To attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, remove things every day. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. To go too far is as bad as to fall short. To know what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. To know what you know and what you do not know, that is true knowledge. To lead people, walk beside them. To love a thing means wanting it to live. To love someone deeply gives you strength. Being loved by someone deeply gives you courage. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. To see things in the seed, that's genius. To see what's right and not do it is one of courage. To study and not think is a waste. To think and not study is dangerous. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. When anger rises, think of the consequences. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. When one door closes, another opens. But we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which has opened for us. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. When we have nothing to lose, we shall have everything to gain. When we see men of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. When you drink water, remember the source. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Wheresoever you go, go with all your heart. Without an acquaintance with the rules of propriety, it is impossible for the character to be established. Worry not that no one knows you, seek to be worth knowing.